we gonna learn a little something today. We're gonna learn something because I caught something, and it's one of those things that people just breeze on past. And me, I'm gonna ask the obvious question. Salute, Hot Sauce. Welcome back, Alan. Salute, Hot Sauce. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Alvin? Gentlemen,
Excellent.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Excellent. Brother, we were just talking about some fictional pleas. We were getting nerdy over here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I think
So,
go ahead.
I just want to say today's a good day and we should believe all women.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. I ain't never really wanna flex my gifts, but I think it's my time. Let me check my wrist. You can never dim my shine. I'ma keep on grinding till I reach the top.
First of all, welcome everyone. Welcome to Simple Shit TV. I'm your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. And what are we going to do? We're going to talk about this 31-year-old woman having a baby by a 13-year-old boy. Salute to the chat. Solo Dolo, Broken Blade, Arrowhead, Ridge, Tana, Vibe with Big Heavy Podcast. What's up? Any of you gentlemen want to pop on in? Mr. Allen, salute to you, brother. If you want to pop on in, you're more than welcome to do so. At least all my OGs only. Closing ranks around here. What's up, Gerald? How you doing, bro?
Hey, how you doing, Alvin? Salute to you, salute to the panel, salute to the chat.
Good. We gonna learn a little something today. We're gonna learn something because I caught something, and it's one of those things that people just breeze on past. And me, I'm gonna ask the obvious question, right? But first, so we're all on the same page. I want to bring up this video. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't start playing automatically. How's your day going, man?
Oh, pretty good. Worked for a few hours, went to the gym, came back here.
My clock at 30.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm trying to get this one in early. That way,
Yeah.
go back. And feeling bad for Mr. Allen. Speaking of devil.
I don't mind. I don't get a lot of sleep anyway, but it's still good to get some sleep on your weekdays.
That's right. What's up, Mr. Allen? How you doing? I told you I promised I would get in here at 5:00. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you, brother?
Good. You all right? Ooh, I got a long pause.
No, I had to cut the boost off. No,
Okay.
Just planning, prepping for the next project, shit like that, man.
Okay. Well, we got a story here of a pedo. I don't know if I can say that or not on YouTube. But
I think if you abbreviate, I think you're good.
Okay.
Don't say the whole word.
Yeah. We got pedo. Salute, Broken Blade. What's up? Ooh, A&W. What's up? Yeah, we got a story, and there's an obvious double standard, right? But it's like how does this particular double standard work is the question. What kind of legal magic did they play? What kind of legal razzmatazz did they play on this one? I'm gonna go on ahead and play this clip, and it's news, so I think fair use applies. But I got fair use on there anyways. But I'm not gonna stop it first time through. I'm gonna let it rock, and then you guys see if you can figure out how or what the key is and how they legally kind of did what they did. And everyone that's participating in the chat, you are more than welcome to do so. Play along with us. We're gonna play Find the Bullshit. Oh man, I should have a graphic that said Find the Bullshit. Damn it. I come up with all these good ideas right at the time, and Find the Bullshit. All right, I gotta write that down. Anyways, we're gonna play Find the Bullshit. So man, I'm sorry if any of my family members listen to this after the fact. I'm sorry for the language. I
One-year-old
apologize.
Fountain woman who police say
Let me know if you can hear it all right.
assaulted a 13-year-old
Can you guys hear it okay?
boy
Yeah.
is avoiding prison time.
Prosecutors offered her a plea deal even after she gave birth to a baby conceived with the team. KRDO News Channel 13 Spencer Soysher joins us live from the El Paso County Courthouse where that plea deal was taken. And Spencer, the mother of that boy, is furious about the deal.
Barton Heather, Andrea Serrano pleaded guilty to an amended charge of incest, though the 13-year-old boy's mother says that they have absolutely no relation. She said she objected to this plea deal when the DA's office showed it to her. Still, it didn't matter, and it appears Serrano is going to avoid prison time.
There's no blood relation. There should be no, incest charge being allowed.
Originally charged with sexual assault on a child, Andrea Serrano is avoiding prison time. She struck a deal, pleading guilty to incest only. The boy's mother is upset with that deal because police say Serrano gave birth to a child she conceived with the 13-year-old.
Had my son have been a little girl and this had been a 31-year-old man, they would be seeking incarceration, which they are not. And I don't think that they realize that boy or girl, this is going to follow him for the rest of his life.
KRDO is concealing the identity of the boy's mother because her son is a victim of a sex crime. In May of last year, Fountain Police claimed Serrano admitted to them she was drunk when she had sex with the 13-year-old boy in her car and then was carrying his child. The boy's mother said she told the district attorney's office she was not okay with this plea deal.
It's not necessarily uncommon.
Legal expert Jeremy Lowe says giving someone a charge they aren't guilty of is not abnormal.
Oftentimes there's plea bargains that get people to what's called essentially fictional pleas.
But the mother says the boy wanted her prosecuted too and believes a fictional plea shouldn't be offered.
I feel like she's getting a slap on the wrist for a crime that shouldn't be taken lightly. It's double standards in my eyes.
The district attorney's office would not talk with us about this case today because Serrano hasn't been sentenced yet. We did, however, speak with Serrano's mother, who says the baby is in the NICU right now and that they haven't done any paternity tests that would be able to prove that it is the 13-year-old's child. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, I'm Spencer Soysher for KRDO News Channel 13.
All right. So we're going to go back and listen to it again, but could you find the bullshit? Gerald, did you hear the bullshit?
A charge for incest and fictional charges. What the hell? How is it they're not related. How do you get a plea deal like that? How do you come up with a plea deal like that and the judge or the jury accepts it?
That's a very good question. A very good question. Mr. Allen, what do you think, bro?
Okay. Let's say we all out together, right?
Uh-huh.
We're in a bad neighborhood. But we're going to a party. They don't like us, rivalry going on. I'm not going to release fictional bullets from my gun. They're going to be real bullets. That was very seeming that little boy released into this 31-year-old woman, and now she's having a baby. So fictional. Yeah. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, man.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
That's a lot of bullshit. What about you, Broken Blade? You pick up on what could be in today's game of find the bullshit. Is there anything that stuck out at you in particular?
My mind immediately fixated on that term fictional plea.
Yeah. See, you brothers are all so.
Justice ain't blind at all. That bitch got 20/20 vision. She's up to vibes.
Yo, man. This is the sharpest panel on the internet. I can't. I'm just joking. I would never say something like that, but you guys are on point. Yeah. And you know what I was thinking? Is the kid 13 now, or was the kid 13 then? Because she's had the child now.
Well, usually they specify in the news that it's been going on for years or they didn't. So I would assume right now.
Yeah,
right. It's very vague. That was very vague. Like we want to talk about it, but we don't really want to talk about it. So I'm gonna just for a little something in there, and that's it.
Yeah, and again, bro, isn't it just something how, you know, they blur out the faces, they don't want to give identities, they kind of, it's like a 2-minute story, but when it's us, they got all the details. That
just goes to show, because like well, she looks Latino or like I'm not sure what she is, but whenever it's
Hispanic, Latina.
Whenever it's obvious so-called black man, drag you, bro. They just drag you. They take the pictures of your mama. They doing all that. But they try to order it down. She literally raped a child and got pregnant in the process.
Yeah.
You can't explain this away.
No. It's, you know what, and this crazy part is, and the same thing with like, you know what I find to be pretty interesting? That like girls will get pregnant by somebody else, or like the baby, you know, the what's called, the paternity test will come back negative or whatever, and they'll pretend like it didn't happen, like it wasn't them. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, no, I didn't cheat. It's like, what do you mean you didn't cheat? Do you know how this thing works? Like, you're pregnant. I'm not the daddy. You clearly had sex with somebody else. Like, but they'll try to like skate responsibility. And it's like, you do realize that the child is proof that you did what you did, right? Like, you can't, there's like no way around it. Like there's no, you can't do the Shaggy, right? It wasn't me. Like, you can't do that. You had to carry.
It's immaculate conception.
Mary Magdalene, is that who? Mary Magdalene? Yeah. Like, you ain't Mary Magdalene. But let's one more time. Let's go through this. I just love how
the angels have to come down to tell Joseph she wasn't fucking around. Like, chill. She's telling the truth.
Joseph would have lost his mind for an angel.
Like, wait a minute. Nah.
Bro, the description of an angel, right?
Yeah.
Is a multi-dimensional being that can travel faster than light, that has physical influence on our space and our reality.
Yeah.
A creature like that had to come down and be like, nah, she wasn't fucking.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, because that's the only, and even then I would have been like, come on, Angel. Come on, Michael. What you saying?
Gabe, I don't believe Gabe. I don't believe.
I don't believe you, dog. I don't believe you. This issue, we was on a break, is so true. This is so true. Oh my god. Here, let's let this rock a little bit. We're gonna nerd out a little bit, but you know, I gotta play this real fast.
So joins us live from the El Paso County Courthouse, where that plea deal was taken. And Spencer, the mother of that boy.
It's interesting too, because you're Latina, and then they're in down in where there's nothing but Latinas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Mexican on Mexican crime down here. We don't get no Mexican on Mexican crime. Vatos on Vatos crime. Is that a thing? It's not a thing, huh? See, it's some bullshit. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Not at all.
I mean, come on. Let's let this rock.
Is furious about the deal.
Martin Heather, Andrea Serrano pleaded guilty to an amended charge of incest, though the 13-year-old boy's mother says that they have absolutely no relation.
That's the crazy part, too. They amended it to incest. It's like not even the definition of the crime. That's the crazy part. Like, it's like they gave her a definition of crime. Yeah, the thing that fictional plea, you guys were all correct. Absolutely, by the way. Yeah, it was not even the definition of a crime. Like, it's not incest. But I'll tell you, we'll learn why here in a little bit.
She said she objected to this plea deal when the DA's office showed it to her. Still, it didn't matter, and it appears Serrano is going to avoid prison time.
There's no blood relation. There should be no incest charge being allowed.
Originally charged with sexual assault on a child.
Now, this is a pretty normal looking Latina too, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she looked like her back is kind of wide, but she's a pretty regular looking chick. Yada. So, I mean, it's just a regular. It's not like she's like crazy overweight. It's not like she's like crazy extra ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like, or homely, whatever word we're using these days. So it's like, if regular chicks are out here, playing with little boys like this on a regular and getting preggers by them, like, what is the world coming to?
Andrea Serrano is avoiding prison time. She struck a deal, pleading guilty to incest only. The boy's mother is upset with that deal because police say Serrano gave birth to a child she conceived with the 13-year-old.
Had my son have been a little girl and this had been a 31-year-old man, they would be seeking incarceration, which they are not. And I don't think that they realize that, boy or girl, this is going to follow him for the rest of his life.
KRDO.
They don't really care about boys, though, now do they?
She's right. It's definitely going to follow him for the rest of his life because it's a kid that's been produced.
Yeah.
At 13, my God.
Yeah.
You know what I was doing at 13? I was still collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit.
Yeah. I think it was like Pogs when I was young. Don't know.
I got a theory.
What's
and
the theory?
It pretty much proves it. They purposely keep the predators in the community, bro. Like, really. The real predators, the ones that are the robbers, the eliminators, the stealers, the lowbrow human beings, they keep them in the community. Straight up. It only makes sense to incarcerate an individual that's willing to get preggo by a child, but instead, we gonna hit you with something that's not even worded the way it's supposed to be worded as far as the crime that you committed.
Yeah.
Then you gave birth.
Yeah.
So that's proof right there. Okay, so what about DNA evidence? Like, they didn't.
Think about this too. She's having a child, right? Like, do you think she's gonna be a good mother?
Oh no.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's having a child.
Like Clarence said there, like 13, she can fuck his life up with child support.
Boom. Soon you turn 18. Boom.
Yeah, this is all kinds of fucked up.
Was that like a new mating strategy or something? Like, okay, she's 31. By the time he turns 18, she'll be what?
Bro, I'm telling you, this is proof that they're running out of pookies, bro.
Yep.
They're running out of pookies. Dudes are not messing with these females. I'm telling you, this is proof that you're seeing more and more of this kind of stuff. Dudes are not having it. They are not messing around with this. They're not having it. And these girls are running out of guys. And I've always believed that there's always been like those kind of teacher / babysitter / you know what I'm saying, like nanny relationships. Girls are filthy out here. I know way more guys have been touched by their babysitters than I care to admit. And so I know there's a lot of that, man. This kind of thing I believe is gonna happen more and more often. And these girls are reckless with it, right? So it's like, not only are you touching the little boy, but you having him shoot the club up too.
Women respond and react to the environment, bro. They adapt.
13 years old. I'm trying to think like what that, man.
That means like whether regardless, like whether he's a father to the child, but he's a fucking child himself. So there's no way he can be a father to a child. It looks like he's being raised by a single mom. She has a lifeline up until the day she dies because of that kid, bro. An attachment to him through that child. That's why I was like, is this like a new mating strategy or? It's weird, yo. It's boom.
Need a young buck.
Yeah.
Need a young buck.
A 12 or 13-year-old though, bro. Like, and they got the nerve to come at us. Like, come. Like, what do you mean? Like, what in the world do you mean? Do you see this mess?
Is concealing the identity of the boy's mother because her son is a victim of a sex crime. In May of last year, Fountain Police claimed Serrano admitted to them she was drunk when she had sex with the 13-year-old boy in her car.
So drinking and driving in the car and having with a minor. I mean, what are we talking about? Like, what? And this person doesn't get jail. You don't take this person off the street, huh?
That's minimum 30 years, bro.
The boy's mother said she told the district attorney's office she was not okay with this plea deal.
It's not necessarily uncommon.
Legal expert Jeremy Lowe says giving someone a charge they aren't guilty of is not abnormal.
Oftentimes, there's plea bargains that get people to what's called essentially fictional pleas.
Fictional plea bargains. So plea bargains that have nothing to do with the charge that she was accused of.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Sterling.
Prosecuted too.
How do you be a successful lawyer while keeping your soul?
Broken blade. Broken blade, broken blade, broken blade. That is a very interesting question, sir. And I oftentimes, that's where I get into trouble with people all the time, because fundamentally, you're participating in a system that is. I used to say it was flawed, but it is not flawed at all. It works exactly the way it's supposed to, and so fundamentally unjust is what I think I'm gonna call it now. Fundamentally unjust.
Yeah, you can't be Harvey Dent in the system, otherwise they're gonna take your ass out like a Joker did.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The area that works in is civil.
Yeah.
So it's a broad area versus criminal.
Yeah.
That's something different. That's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother animal. Like literally, if you commit, well, prime example, this raggedy, disgusting chick, if you commit a crime, instead of charging you with that crime, they'll charge you with something else if they choose to. It can be greater or it can be lesser.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't, typically they reserve that right for melanated men. Mm-hmm. We can't prove you did it, but we can offer you this instead. We done held you for 2 years and we still can't prove it, and our time's running out. So just say you did this instead. Mm-hmm. It's a lesser crime. It goes up, it goes down. In this case, they gave the impregnated Latin woman a lesser. Is it even a charge? Is that a charge for incest? Like, I don't even know. I don't know if it's a charge.
I believe it's a misdemeanor. It's just enough for her to have. She'll probably put her on probation, and she'll probably have to, take some classes and whatever. Most likely, she won't have to register as a sex offender. That's how that stuff goes, guys. That's the point. We're actually gonna talk about it here in just a second. In fact, right after this,
shouldn't be offered.
I feel like she's getting a slap on the wrist for a crime that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yeah, fictional plea. Let's see here. Let's talk about a fictional plea, shall we? We're just gonna make that small. Fictional plea. Where is that? Fictional plea. Fictional plea. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Systematic lying and plea bargaining is a feature, not a flaw. Lying, a plea bargain allows defendants the opportunity to negotiate their fair resolutions to their cases in the face of a deeply unfair system. Even as lying makes way for and sustains the problematic system it seeks to avoid, wrote Thea Johnson, as an associate professor at Rutgers Law School, in an article appeared in Georgia State University Law Review. Essentially, if a plea bargain were to disappear tomorrow, defendants would lose their means of avoiding sex offender registration, deportation, severe prison sentences, fines, and other consequences of being convicted upon the most severe charge, and a prosecutor can lodge based upon the facts of the case. Let's see, in a 52-page article, and this is actually better. Well, not better than the article. The article is actually great. Maybe I'll link it in the description for anyone that wants to take a look at it. Johnson explores how trials constrain lying in criminal proceedings. Then she details 3 classifications of lies during pre-bargaining: lies about facts, lies about the laws, lies about the process. Finally, Johnson demonstrates how the paradox of lies during plea bargaining, namely that the strategies lawyers have come up with to avoid injustices of the system, are the same strategies that make the system unknowable to those outside of it, thus allowing the core injustice of the criminal justice system to survive. So when all those folks are like, oh, black people just commit crimes, and there's like, do you think they take into account that, you know, they're out here taking charges that say, I don't know, maybe aren't even real charges, or people that should be locked up forever are taking lesser charges? You know what I'm saying? Because that's usually how it's used.
Pretty much, they said, in a nutshell, they said we can lie, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And that's how the system works.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of my issues with our current system is that, and part of the reasons why I can call it unjust and it's not fair, is that, once again, part of the whole thing is like, okay, robbery, you know, and robbery 1 to 10, right? Some people get 10, some people get 1. I wonder who gets which. That's how we get the discrepancy in the lengths of our prison sentences for the same crime. We get prison sentences 3 times what white men do. So that in and of itself, it should be 1 time for 1 crime, period. It shouldn't be a range, right? Like, so, you know, robbery, it's 10 years. If that's what it is, that's what it is, right? But if a judge decides if they want to be like, oh, they want to throw the book at you, right? Or they can show you mercy or deference, then they give you a lighter sentence. But again, the numbers prove that if you're melanated, then you tend to have longer sentences. And so that's how the system is jacked up, and no one ever considers that part. Like, no one, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we always have these like half-ass conversations about the legal system, and it's like the obvious part, the part that's the most damning, where they're clearly lying. Nobody talks about that part. Gerald, you got any thoughts?
Well, yeah, it's like in terms of how the law and how it works. I mean, like you said, like the 1 to 10 years for like a robbery crime is just like, it's asinine. It's like, okay, so pretty much you can decide whether or not how long I go to jail for a guy who commits the same crime. And come to find out, this is how the system just works. It depends on how long we want, how much tax dollars we want out of our citizens. Mm-hmm. So we might feel generous one day, maybe grant mercy, but other than that, more than likely, if you have melanin in your skin, more than likely not. You're probably gonna be getting a max because profit off of that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a system that just profits off of pretty much lying. I mean,
pretty much lying. What about you, Alan? You want to jump in at all? I'm gonna just kind of hammer through the rest of this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Damn, I lost my thought, but
go ahead. Just jump in whenever.
All right.
And then let's see, plea bargaining became popular in the early 20th century for 2 reasons. First, because it allowed judges and lawyers to hide their own corrupt practices, namely using bribes to grant defendants a beneficial plea deal. And second, because the normalized use of pleas allowed the courts an efficient means of dealing with the burdens of a rapidly expanding criminal justice system, wrote Johnson. As a result, early courts were suspicious of plea bargaining. Once again, you know, trading up, right? Trading up for the older guy. Go ahead, Mr. Allen.
That's it right there. So in a nutshell, it's a faster process. Instead of you going through all the necessary steps for due process, they'll make you plea out as fast as they can. That way, they get you in the system and get you gone.
Yeah.
Problem is, for most of us, if we don't plea, then it goes to trial, the burden of proof is on the state, and the state can't prove that you did what you did in most cases because it's a bunch of hearsay. They need witnesses, they need statements, they need a shit ton of affidavits. If a lawyer worth their salt can create just a fraction of doubt, like in OJ's case, it is what it is. But if they get you to plea, then that's your statement saying, I didn't stab John, but I did punch him though. So it's still assault. It's a lesser charge. And they'll then turn around and give you as much time as they can off of that charge. The labyrinth that is the legal system is some bullshit. It's a bunch of big ass words and some bullshit. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Go ahead, George. You want to jump in?
Yeah, I got a question. You think the reason why people have to go to law school for at least 5 to 10 years, something like that? Do you think the reason they have to go to law school for so long is because they need to figure out ways to manipulate the system and lie about it? I mean, there's better than their opponents.
Do you want to know my honest opinion? That's a really good question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know why the bar exam is called the bar exam?
Not really, go ahead.
So that black people can't get over the bar and become lawyers. They set the bar. I swear to God.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, you're right about that.
So they set the bar so that we can't be attorneys. So they make it hard and expensive so that we can't afford to go to law school to defend ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Come on.
Best advice. Go on YouTube and start looking up legalese. Learn how to speak legalese. When you can turn to that, it's not a matter of if, just when. Traffic ticket, it's going to be something, especially in these spaces we're talking openly and we're offending a lot of B-dubs. But it's going to be something. And if you plan on being a man of means, they coming after you. They going to come after you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Learn legalese. Because when you can turn to that state's attorney and rebut them, their eyes bulge out at, what did you just say? Yeah, I'm not a layman. You know, even that term, layman, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You're dumb.
Yeah.
You're dumb. You don't know nothing. Yeah. Learn legalese, bro, for yourself.
Yeah, have to. Yeah, that's why they make it. That's why they make it so hard. So the strategy for keeping black people from doing things is adding identification or reasons to ID, making it expensive, whatever it is. The original gun laws, they essentially made it illegal to sell guns to black people, and they couldn't make it illegal to sell guns to black people. So what they did was they tried to make it more expensive. They said you can only sell Colt revolvers, the ones that are that were given by the U.S. Army. You couldn't sell any other revolver, and that was more expensive. And so, that way those poor old N-words couldn't get their hands on a firearm. And again, like I said, I can't remember exactly where the quote came from, but it was Clarence Thomas might have even said it, but he was like, the slaves, the black men that got away were the ones that had the guns, the ones that didn't get lynched. The black men that didn't have lynched were the ones that had guns. Those were the ones that got away. So I mean, that's why all of these gun laws and issues that they're going over in California, obviously in New Jersey and in New York, and then the cases that are being heard by the Supreme Court right now are such a big deal. And Clarence Thomas has taken taking it by the scruff of the neck, and he's leading the charge. And if you read what he's been writing and the things that he's been saying, he's like, look, all these laws you guys are trying to put in place are inherently racist. They're based in racism. They're based in trying to keep guns out of the hands of black people. They're not fair. They're unconstitutional. That's why they keep failing. Governor Newsom here in California is losing his mind. They want to stop do another assault weapons ban altogether, and they can't because the Supreme Court constitutional. Nope. And same thing with New Jersey. I think they're trying to pull something in some of the Midwestern states, Missouri, Kansas, so on and so forth. And you know, they're coming up short. But yeah, that's why they make it so expensive. What else was I going to say? I had something else I was going to add. Here, let me read this real quick and then we'll get back to it. Since SCOTUS approved the plea bargaining in criminal proceedings, trials have virtually disappeared. That's what I was going to come back to. One Manhattan federal judge said he only recalled one criminal trial in the 4 years on his bench. In Santa Cruz, California, there were no criminal trials from 2010 until at least 2012. About 95 and 97% of state and federal criminal cases, respectively, are resolved via plea bargain. Wow. I don't even have court anymore. They just hit brothers with charges and punishments. And here's the thing, and here's what you missed. What I was going to say about what you missed, Mr. Allen. What I was going to say about what you missed is they got to go through all that process, but you have to do what? You have to pay for an attorney to defend yourself. Their budget is limitless. Yours isn't. So you have to run yourself through the ringer trying to pay for an attorney to defend yourself. None of us have that kind of money. So we have to plea out because there's no way for us to defend ourselves. And the craziest thing you can do is go into a courthouse and defend yourself. Don't do it. Note to anybody listening, don't ever defend yourself in a courtroom. I don't know, Mr. Allen, if you're shaking your head to disagree, I'm sorry. Any attorney would ever, he would agree with me. Don't ever go into a court defending yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it.
If you do, they're gonna make an example of you. So a lawyer that I forgot the saying, a lawyer that represents himself as a fool for a client.
Yeah.
They're gonna make an example of you.
Yeah.
But it's still good to learn legalese. That way, at least you can comprehend what's being said about you in reference to you.
Absolutely.
That way you can file paperwork if you need to.
Yeah.
Also, another trick of the trade is to go into business for yourself. Get your EIN, set up your trust. That way, if something does happen, you can always go back and sue them. Because as long as you hold me here, I'm missing out on money I could have been getting. You held me unjustly. At least you can guarantee the bag that way versus the video of the guy that, oh my God, he did how many 20 years in jail or 20 years, and he's getting nothing.
No, they're
in hostile territory.
Yeah, they don't.
So you gotta act like.
Yeah, they don't ever pay you. There are pro bono lawyers. You just gotta find one. You gotta find one. You gotta find a good one. There's really no reason why anyone would want to represent you for free unless they were a friend or they owed you a favor, and even then, I don't know if that would be a smart decision. I mean, the court system is jacked up, dog. It's a cold game. It really is. It really is. Let's see. If the truth is the basic purpose, that raises a question of what the purpose of the plea bargaining. Johnson said, what is the purpose of plea bargaining? Johnson said the scholars in court should ask what trial rights should extend to plea bargaining. Is plea bargaining done in the shadow of a trial? And should the goal of plea bargaining be more than trial avoidance? Most importantly, should plea bargaining be the basis purpose be the determination of truth? That's a question mark. Let's ask, most importantly, should plea bargaining's basis, purpose, be the determination of truth? Because again, plea bargaining really doesn't matter what is the truth. It's just the process. It's a matter of like, I'm just going to plead to this so that I don't have to go to jail, or I can lessen my sentence now. And once again, if you're a person that doesn't have deep pockets and can't afford to defend yourself for any significant amount of time, because they'll wait you out. They'll wait you out. Like they'll wait you out. If what you're doing, if you're in for a serious crime and you have to, sit and they don't give you a bond, right? And you just have to sit and wait till they'll wait you out if you have a good attorney. Then your attorney can press, right? What's happening to Michael Irvin right now? Exactly what's happening to Michael Irvin right now, right? Like he's like, I want to expedite the situation. He's paying for the best attorneys. I want to expedite the situation. Whoa. Marriott's like, whoa. You don't need to rush. There's no need to expedite. There's no need. Everyone knows what the case is and knows what's going on. You just want to embarrass our client. There's no rush. You should take your time. There's no need. And that's like Michael Irvin. That's got the proper paperwork with the proper attorneys that are doing the proper thing. You know what I'm saying? So they hit you back and forth with motions. And then of course with an attorney and Uncle D, maybe I'll have him on one of these days. We'll talk about it. I would love to have once we get really organized, we'll have him on. We'll talk about it. It's like some of these attorneys, they charge by the 15 minutes. You get on the phone with them, you talk to them for a half hour, it's $300 on the cheap side. You know what I'm saying? If they got to do your paperwork, which you don't ever know, you think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? And it's not even your attorney. It could be a legal, a paralegal doing the work, right? But you still get hit the same. TLA told a funny ass story about some Mexican dude that gave him $5 or $5,000, and it was time for him to pay up again, and that dude showed up to his office like loked up, because in Mexico you pay the judges and the attorneys. He expected that that $5,000 went to the judges. He didn't think. He's like, what are you doing? Like, what? Hold on, like, where's my money at? Like, who did you pay? But here it's like that money is gone so fast. What's up? Only the best. Salute, bro. How are you doing? He said, get your passports, bro. It's that bad. Amen, brothers. It really is that bad. I mean, again, this is the system. So when people, once again, the reason why I'm doing this is that, again, we always hear about the system, but nobody can do a goddamn Google search and find out like what are they really doing to us? Like, what's really happening? Like, how does the system really work? Well, this is a perfect example of a person that obviously did a crime. They had they had relations with an underage child. They have a birth to prove it, and they're not doing any jail time. Versus, they'll try to throw the book at us for stealing a bag of potato chips.
Yeah, 60 years for 2 t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't even get me started. That'll just ruin my day. Yeah, lying and plea bargaining is not only easier, it's become systematic. This is because the plea process, unlike trial, is both flexible. It is a flexible instrument for resolving cases and often hidden from public view, wrote Johnson. Aside from the defendant admitting guilt and the court finding the plea as knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily entered, there are few formal requirements for entering into a plea bargain, as appeals are basically prohibited when a guilty plea is entered by the defendant. The process is further hidden from public scrutiny. So, I mean, even this case, if we didn't know, and it was, and the mother was even saying something, on the news, even though she's, blurring out her face and not giving her name, we wouldn't even know as much as we would know. So the question is, like, how many of these situations are flowing through the system for all these other groups of people, right? And then we look like the criminals.
About 90% of them.
Well, yes, absolutely. I even said that. Yeah, I would agree with you. Plea bargains are loosely regulated. Policies of the prosecutor's office and individual judges dictate how pleas are handled within jurisdictions. Lax constitutional norms and wide-ranging policies make it nearly impossible to say how a specific set of charges and a defendant's particular background will calculate a plea bargaining, Johnson noted. Thus, given all this uncertainty and loose regulation, is no wonder why that lying via plea bargaining has taken root and thrived in a system that was once built for the determination of truth.
Bro.
So, yeah.
Literally, you get pulled over. You get pulled out your car. You get arrested. Once they get you in there, they can offer you a plea bargain because there was a robbery that occurred down the street. It wasn't me. And then you get, okay, that wasn't you, but you were drunk driving. Accept that. Okay, cool. Now you've admitted you were drunk driving, even though it was just you. You weren't doing.
Oh, lost him. Almost lost me too. Damn, he was cooking too. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah, pretty much what he was saying was just blackmail, threaten your ass.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can get got. Well, I found this interview, and this attorney gives a couple of different examples, and I don't know. Thought it would be interesting for us to take a look here. Let's see what we got here real fast, and then we'll be done. And then I did want to go over the press conference that Michael Irvin was in. Salute Red Sigma. Joan, if I hadn't said what's up to you, my dear. Thank you for coming through, saying hello. Appreciate you. Mr. Allen, you can hop up whenever you like. How defendants end up pleading guilty to non-existent crimes. Fictional pleas can benefit the accused, the prosecutor, and the judge, but at what cost? We're going to get rid of this cookies situation here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to start here with this Barry Lamb. What he says: the moral qualms people have with collateral consequences hit a lot sooner than judges at sentencing. They hit prosecutors and defense attorneys also. When this happened, everyone in the system looks for a way to bypass the laws. A fictional plea is a plea of guilty to a crime that a defendant did not actually commit for the purposes of avoiding a particular consequence, like sex offender registration, federal immigration consequences like deportation. I'm not talking about the innocent defendants, but the defendants who have committed some crime, but for whatever reason don't want to plead guilty to the crime that would match their actions. Instead, they want to plead guilty to something else that won't trigger these additional penalties, right? So this is more of a thing that's not really for Black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not kind of a thing that's for us. Like, this is what's given. This is a benefit to people that are taking lesser charges than what they actually did, not more. See what I'm saying? So we always get hit with the plea bargain on the other side, the other way around, where they give us heavier charges, or they add on extra charges, or add on extra years, or there's a accelerator because you had a gun or an illegal weapons charge in addition to, right? So it wasn't just robbery, but it was robbery with a concealed weapon or with an illegal weapon, which gives you another like 5 to 10 automatic type of thing. That's what they reserve for us. But this is what they reserve for non-melanated people. Plea bargaining is very much a negotiation, which it's about getting to yes, and this is a way to get to yes, which is really ridiculous. Fictional pleas are pervasive. Every defense attorney I talk to says this happens so much that they call them pleas, but it's not even worth naming. They're the norm, not the exception. Like I said, and those are the things that are not reserved for us. Those are reserved for other people, right? So we already know that Black folks don't commit as much crime as everyone is already saying, right? But in addition to that, the crimes that are being committed by these other folks aren't even being reported properly or punished properly.
And not even that. Yeah, not even that. They actually negotiate a plea bargain versus us. They just straight up. They just give us a plea bargain outright.
Yes. Be like take
some other on those stats.
So here's an example from my research. Defendant is charged with the marijuana sale. Most drug cases will automatically trigger immigration consequences. And it's in those cases where defendants really need to figure out how to scrub the record of the drugs. They need to figure out how to make the drugs disappear. So the defense attorney and the prosecutor arrange a plea bargain to inhaling toxic vapors, essentially huffing. Huffing will not have immigration consequences. Loophole. See how they did that? Aha! Aha! Another example. Defendant is charged with a felony sex crime. That felony sex crime will carry sex offender registration, but because the defendant is living in a homeless shelter and has somewhat of a stable housing situation, he will lose his sheltered housing. So in order to avoid sex offender registration, the parties get together and decide to let him plead guilty to 3 misdemeanor sex offenses. And by pleading to the misdemeanors, he avoids sex offender registration, but the prosecutor can take then stack or run consecutive sentences. So and to get fair run consecutive sentences and so get a fairly serious sentence to the defendant in an ideal world. But this sounds a lot like what our lady friend just did. No?
Yeah, pretty much. Right? Take a plea bargain that's not even yours, and not only that, I mean,
yep,
a fictional charge. I mean, what kind of shit is that?
Facts. Red Sigma caught the reference. Aha! Love that. We might have to do like a movie night, and I don't know how we can watch that without getting a copyright strike. We should try to do that. Maybe watch some clips. Lamb, to be a fictional plea, according to Thea Thompson, there has to be a wide enough gap between the facts of the crime and the crime to which the defendant is pleading guilty. 2 really common pleas are solicitation and misprison. They're kind of a go to fiction for people who are arrested on felony drug crimes that carry heavy collateral consequences. Solicitation is when you get someone else to commit a crime, and misprison is failing to report a crime. There are handbooks on how to get felony drug crimes pled down to offenses like these, and there are plea bargains that are so fictional the crimes aren't even real.
Jesus. I believe we should change solicitation to proxy violence.
Say that again. Right? So the lovely ladies that are setting up their brothers, setting up their boyfriends, setting up their, uncles and so on. That's how a lot of times they avoid getting in trouble.
And it damn sure shouldn't be a misdemeanor.
Facts. Big facts. So, what's up, Alan? But yeah, let's see. Different type of fictional plea is defendants pleading guilty to non-existent crimes for which they could not be convicted in front of a jury because the crime doesn't exist. It does not exist in the statute book. So let's say, for example, let's see here. For instance, defendant is charged with an intentional assault, and the parties decide that for whatever reason, to avoid a mandatory minimum, to avoid collateral consequences, to avoid immigration consequences, they want the defendant to plead guilty to an attempted reckless assault. Well, there's no such thing as an attempted reckless assault in the law. You can attempt to be reckless, and yet you can find many examples of the courts accepting pleas to attempted reckless assault or attempted manslaughter, which carries a reckless men's something minor mindset. Is that a legal term? We'll come back to that. They allow that because they allow the parties to come to some conclusion that there will benefit the defendant and it will be a benefit to the prosecutor by ending the case in a favorable way, and they'll allow the defendant to plead to a crime which does not exist. Oh, sorry, I didn't.
To a crime that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Let's say, for example, a defendant is charged with an intentional assault and the parties decide that for whatever reason, to avoid a mandatory minimum, to avoid collateral consequences, to avoid immigration consequences, they want the defendant to plead guilty to an attempted reckless assault. Well, there's no such thing as an attempted reckless assault in the law. You can't attempt to be reckless. And yet you can find many examples of the courts accepting pleas to attempted reckless assaults or attempted manslaughter, which carries a reckless mensor mindset. Don't know what that is exactly. We'll look it up. They allow that because the parties come to some conclusion that will benefit the defendant, which doubtful. It will benefit the prosecutor by ending the case in a favorable way. And it will allow the defendant to plead to a crime that does not exist. Yeah.
So pretty much we're just making the shit up so we can lighten the sentence.
Yeah. Absolutely. 110%. What did you say? Third country. Oh. Yeah. Man, we're gonna get on that third world country conversation again. People be getting fired up about that, but no, this is how our system works. And again, my whole issue is just that we always have people that are like, they get fired up. They'll be like, you know, and again, between a rock and a hard place, right? So you got some people that are like, you guys are always complaining. You just need to stop committing crimes. And you guys are just criminals. You guys, Chicago. You know, Chicago. And that's what, Chirac, which I don't know. I'm under the impression that I think Chicago's crime statistics are inflated, but we're going to do.
Not only that, it's not even number one in homicide.
No, I heard it was like 15 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's like low. So. And then on the other side, it's like people on the other side were like, "Oh, the system is broken. The system is broken. The system is broken." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, though, because in this particular case, right, the judge knows that there's no such thing as an attempted whatever, right?" Yeah. The court accepts that plea and they accept whatever the DA and whatever they decide that they want to do. So the judges are in on it too. That's the thing. So anyways, I just wanted to, I don't know. I just thought that was, they tried to like slip that whole fictional pleas in there. And I'm like, fictional plea? I mean, it's like it's a lot, like saying it's essentially a lie right there in the title. I'm like, so you guys are just basically, don't just call it a lie. Just call it a lie.
I mean, this is the way the system works.
Yeah.
And the public, and they use these 3-syllable words called fictional plea, meaning pretty much that we pretty much gonna lie to get it past the court and the judges.
Yeah. I can't lie, Pontiac. Hey man, the ones that think that they're not, because they think they're white people. They don't think they're minorities. So we've been like black and brown coalition, and in the background they're like, I don't know what they're talking about us. We ain't with y'all. We ain't with y'all. The second they give us benefits, we out. As soon as they let us move into the heights, we're out of here. We're voting Republican, which all black people should vote. All black men should vote Republican these days, ladies and gentlemen. We should just put some pressure on our politicians so that they actually have to respect us. We need to start. We need to start compromising some of these Republicans. You know what I'm saying? We need to start getting in the game. We need to start getting in the game. We're not in the political game.
Well, yeah, Trump was Trump seen the numbers on the African American vote that he had, and he said maybe I should throw him a bone because I'm getting some votes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think Ice Cube was the first to really try to make a legitimate effort in that direction, and our entertainers should not be the ones at the forefront. Let's just be real, like they shouldn't be. So I applaud him for getting it going and trying to do that, but I don't think that that's. But it was a good start. It was great that he was trying. And sorry, long day. And I think, now that we know that we can get we're getting some momentum and we're getting, some public eyeballs. I think it'll be great for us to continue with what Dr. Tieson Johnson and the Black males agenda and push that thing forward. I think it makes a lot of sense for all men, not just Black men. And it has legs, but once again, I think a lot of it will come down to money. And if we can't replace the income that will be lost by paternity, because think about it, man, 30 to 40% of these females, 40% of Blacks, but like 30 to 40% of these females, when they learn that their baby daddy ain't the baby daddy and the state has to go looking for somebody else. And if this girl gets proven that she actually tried to put one over on a dude and the dude actually files suit and tries to sue her and the state has to deal with it, that's a lot of cases. Like a third of all the children being born to single mothers will have some sort of a dispute. The state's not willing to deal with that kind of cost. Like, that's the problem. The state's not willing to deal with that kind of cost. So why
don't we hit them with a reverse psychology on them? How about instead they get charged with paternity fraud, you have to pay back the plaintiff. I think they're gonna have a hard time wanting to make women pay. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Like, women are losing their minds already. Salute to Hot Sauce. What's up, bro? They're already like, women are already losing their minds when they have to pay child support. Right? Like, the fact that
I see Holly Berry shit.
so upset, and I can't lie, I smile every time I hear about it. It makes me smile just a little bit. I'm like, it just a little bit of, it warms my heart, it warms my soul just a little bit whenever I learn that there's a woman out there paying child support. It just makes me feel good. I don't know why. It probably shouldn't, right? I'm like, oh, it feels so good. And I'm not paying or collecting, but but the fact that I know that there's a woman out there paying child support just makes me feel good.
Absolutely.
But what I wanted to go at, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see Michael Irvin's press conference.
No, Uncle D posted it, but I didn't get to look at it. I don't think. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. He posted a couple of minutes of it, but this was actually it. Before I was gonna, since it's like news and stuff, we can actually watch it without getting copyright strikes and stuff. Salute Hot Sauce, welcome back, Alan. Salute Hot Sauce, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Alvin? Gentlemen,
excellent.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Excellent, brother. We were just talking about some fictional pleas. We were getting nerdy over here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I think
so.
Go ahead.
I just want to say today's a good day and we should believe all women. and I know this is a very troubling situation for the parents of that 13-year-old.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it's a great day because we went from Cosby, R. Kelly, of being the black men of SA. Now it's Puerto Rican women. Thank you, Puerto Rican women. You are now the new face.
Hold on. Here we go. Boom. There we go.
Thank you, ladies. Right. So I cannot wait for the Gayle King special. Right.
Yup. But we know we're never gonna see that.
Now we need to see that.
Yeah, we do.
Need to see that.
We need to,
because man, like the woman said, she was like, if that was a 31-year-old male time.
Oh, I mean, get buried underneath the jail. I mean, they would have his mugshot up, plastered everywhere, pedo. Like, can't wait to. And the thing of it is too is that when you go into prison with charges like that,
you're losing your virginity
real quick. real quick.
Yep.
And not even like
back virginity.
Yeah. Like, and they ain't even nice about it from what I hear. It's like first things first.
They gonna put your ass in the dress.
Yeah. Oh, instantly. Yeah. Usually what they do when you have cases like that, they put you in solitary until they think that everybody's forgotten that you're there. But nobody forgets that you're there. As soon as you go into general population, bro, it's open season. That's how that stuff works. It's a crazy thing. Here, since you're here, I'm gonna run through this one more time real quick. It's only a 2-minute clip, and then we'll go to the Michael Irvin but let's let this rock real fast. Fair use. We're doing news here. We're trying to doing nerdy things.
Prosecutors offered her a plea deal even after she gave birth to a baby conceived with the team. KRDO News Channel 13 Spencer Soysher joins us live from the El Paso.
Barely a teen, by the way, but whatever.
The county courthouse where that plea deal was taken. And Spencer, the mother of that boy, is furious about the deal.
Martin Heather, Andrea Serrano pleaded guilty to an amended charge of incest, though the 13-year-old boy's mother says that they have absolutely no relation. She said she objected to this plea deal when the DA's office showed it to her. Still, it didn't matter, and it appears Serrano is going to avoid prison time.
There's no blood relation. There should be no, incest charge being allowed.
Originally charged with sexual assault on a child, Andrea Serrano is avoiding prison time. She struck a deal, pleading guilty to incest only. The boy's mother is upset with that deal because police say Serrano gave birth to a child she conceived with the 13-year-old.
Had my son have been a little girl and this had been a 31-year-old man, they would be seeking incarceration, which they are not. And I don't think that they realize that, boy or girl, this is going to follow him for the rest of his life.
I wonder who she paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to pay somebody to get off like that. Like, whose pockets did you grease to get that by? Did you have to grease everybody's pockets?
RDO is concealing the identity of the boy's mother because her son is a victim of a sex crime. In May of last year, Fountain Police claimed Serrano admitted to them she was drunk when she had sex with the 13-year-old boy in her car and then was carrying his child. The boy's mother said she told...
And let's just ask this, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that was the only time she's had relations with the young man, with the child? Do you think it was a one-shot deal?
No.
No, she's done it with others.
Yeah, or done it with others, yeah.
And multiple times, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because these people, I'm like, yeah, you ain't that lucky. Like, you shot up the club one time.
Yeah, because she's 31, right? So she's older, so it takes a longer time to get pregnant. Right?
Yeah, that's a cold game.
It'd be different if she was like 20 something, then yeah. Right? But she's 31, half her eggs are gone.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm having a brain fart right now, but like, how is this not considered great?
It is. That's what I'm saying.
They said sexual assault. I'm like,
why?
Yeah, they said sex crime, right? They call it a sex crime.
Bro, they changed the words around when it comes to them.
Well, the thing about it is that because I had this conversation before, and fun fact, the UN did an investigation and found that female trafficking and majority of sex crimes, as they label it, are actually initiated by women. So if you start now charging women the same as you charge men, there's a lot of teachers going to jail. So is America ready to see that? No. Because like all the statistics that they tell you are wrong. Black boys are the most likely to get raped, as we say, right? They're the most likely to get raped. Black men are the ones that's going to be most likely to get murdered or experience some type of physical violence. We're the ones that's going to get shot by the cops. We're the ones that are going to get shot in the hood, right? Like, it's never been safer for women in the history of the world, like ever. But they're going to say, "Oh, it's unsafe for women."
Yeah, and to hear them tell it, it's like you can't walk 10 feet down the street at dusk because somebody's going to scoop you up. I've gotten into so many, fights with, angry white women telling me about how dangerous it is on college campuses. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like, even when it comes to abuse, it's a same-sex partner. Yeah. When it comes to domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And black men ain't hitting nobody because they'll call the cops on you real quick.
Yeah.
So even amongst the opposite gender abuse, black men are the absolute lowest.
Yep. Absolute. And I'm glad we are out here beating the drum, telling these fools that, you know what, this is not the case, and we're gonna hit them with the anti propaganda, because I'm tired of taking the L for all this terrible behavior. Because look, to be honest with you, I would always question it, but I never really pushed back that hard. People would be like, oh, y'all just always getting locked up. And I'd be like, damn, yeah, I guess we all just getting locked up. You know what I mean? Right? And I'd be like, y'all are always nothing but, there's more of you guys in prison than there is in college. And I'd be like, damn, there's more of us in prison than there is in college. Damn, all you guys got single, y'all got a bunch of baby daddies, and all you do is have kids and leave them. I'm like, damn, man, yeah, all we do is just have kids and leave them. And I'm realizing all it was bullshit. It's like completely flipped, all of it. I'm like, these black women have been projecting the entire time. And again, because we have the simp chip, or we've been coached not to push back, we just kind of stop with the conversation. We just stop and we don't say anything.
And we really, for the longest time, we didn't have the statistics either. I mean, back in the 80s and the 70s, and we just started now getting them. Yeah,
90s. We didn't have Google in the 90s.
Yeah. So it was always, oh, my life, I have to fight. and we were all freaking beating our women. And that was clearly not the case. Let's let this finish real quick.
Told the district attorney's office she was not okay with this plea deal.
It's not necessarily uncommon.
Legal expert Jeremy.
This is where the being an attorney thing kind of stings me. Broken. Is that who you you're right? Like, this is where, and Gerald, like, this is where, because I'm like, how could you be a part of a system that does this? That where this is such a fact, not, it's the rule, not an exception.
Says giving someone a charge they aren't guilty of is not abnormal.
Oftentimes there's plea bargains that get people to what's called essentially fictional pleas.
But the mother says the boy wanted...
Like, fictional, just the name. It's like, it just says lie. Like, fiction is not real. Like, what? How do they get by with that? I don't understand. I do understand, but God, that's crazy. It's in the name, for God's sake.
Her prosecuted too, and believes a fictional plea shouldn't be offered.
I feel like she's getting a slap on the wrist for a crime that shouldn't be taken lightly. It's double standards in my eyes.
Just saying.
The district attorney's office would not talk with us about this case today because Serrano hasn't been sentenced yet. We did, however, speak with Serrano's mother, who says the baby is in the NICU right now and that they haven't done any paternity tests that would be able to prove that it is the 13-year-old's child.
So they must have caught her, like, they must have caught the kid like balls deep in her when they... I mean, because I would imagine she wouldn't just like offer up that information if she didn't absolutely have to.
Hell, they might be another 13-year-olds.
Yeah, that's why she might be trying to play on.
Why does she have access to 13-year-olds?
She's the teacher.
Yeah, she's probably a teacher, preschool or not preschool. Probably elementary or
middle school or high school.
Yeah,
with a tattoo on the neck.
They'll let anybody teach these kids, bro. They'll let anybody teach these kids.
Bro, blue hair, big as a planet.
Bro, they got 6'5" dudes in fairy dresses reading My Two Dads. So, come on. Literally anybody can come and teach.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't even get paid very much either.
I mean... Well, you know what's messed up is that even if you were a good guy, right? If you were a good guy that's like, you know what, I just want to teach kids and like make a difference and make my community better and share some of my knowledge, like there's not a chance. I got offered a job to coach one of the best high schools in Northern California. And I was like, and they're like, yo, would you be the strength and conditioning coach? And I'd be like, okay, what's up? Like, what does it entail? It was like, you know, I was like, just boys, right? No, boys and girls teams. I was like, nope. Yeah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Yo, it's a big check. I don't care. Absolutely not. Will not do it. Nope. Turned out it was a sure thing. Straight into it was like, nah. One of these high schools has got like college budgets, like the rich kid high school. And I was like, I was like, I was like, the girls too? Nah, sorry, sir. Absolutely not.
All it takes is that one kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was funny too when I explained it to my friend. He was like, no, you don't want to do it. And I'm like, oh, I want to do it, but I'm not gonna. I'm like, bro, all it takes is for one of them little girls to get mad at me one day, you know. And then these girls are crafty these days. Like they'll fake text messages. They'll have conversations with their friends. They'll collaborate stories. Like I'll be screwed.
Try to flirt with you.
Yeah, left, right, and center. No, thank you. And you know what? The way these little white girls are built these days. Nah, I don't need that on my conscience.
I ain't gonna lie. That kind of did sound like a setup because it's like, why would usually when they offer you like a job for high school, they usually just tell you to teach the boys, like coach them. Why would they offer you the girls too? It kind of seems like a setup.
Well, because the high school, like these private high schools, they just have different rules. Like you I mean, they don't you don't even go by the proper, like even just how they hire people, you know, like some, like the big heavy coaches, like the head coach positions and stuff like that, you know, they have these like big hiring processes, but they let the head coaches, he was a head coach of the track team, and they allow him to, you know, kind of has his supporting coaches and so on. So it was like a shoe in. All I had to do was accept the job. But he was like, yeah, you got to coach the girls too. And I said, absolutely not. I will not do that.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all